Hello everyone, welcome to the next episode of The Cost of Crypto. Today I'm answering the question, should you buy Dogecoin? My answer is no, but I'll explain why. But before we get started, quick word from our sponsor. Hello everyone, I want to tell you about my favorite podcast tool. It's Anchor FM. It's got everything you need to make a podcast. Recording function, sound clips, background music, transitions. You can upload your own audio files, and you can use Anchor's built-in editing tools to make a great podcast. Anchor will distribute your podcast among multiple platforms so that the more you grow, the greater your reach becomes. You can also monetize your episodes right off the bat, no minimum audience. You can get started making your podcast right from your phone or PC. So don't wait. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And we're back. So the big question, should I buy Dogecoin? Dogecoin is making all the news. And people are asking this question, should I get in? And my answer is going to be no, a big unequivocal no. And here's why. So right now it's at 64 cents, which is off of its high of 68 cents, which was hit just a little within 12 hours of the time I recorded this. In the last year, it's up 25,000%. If you look at charts, you'll see that it's experienced this phenomenal growth just in the last 4 odd months, where it had the real spike coming up in mid-April. But this is a burning match, and I'm taking experience from going back to my days when I just invested and followed the stock markets. And this is going back, 30 years when I was in high school, if that establishes anything. The behaviors we're seeing, the people entering the space right now, they're going after profit. When I went on crypto Twitter yesterday, I started seeing more and more anecdotals where people are saying, my grandma and my grandpa literally asked me, how do I get this Dogecoin? And even in Bill Maher's crap on crypto monologue last week, people are applauding him when he's crapping on crypto. Yeah, bad crypto. But when he mentions Doge, there's cheers and claps from the audience. I mean, think about that. And obviously, the price of Doge can be whatever it wants to be. If people want to buy Doge, if people want to own Doge, if people want an expensive Doge, they can do that. There's no reason why they can't. Crypto is still a relatively free market as far as processing signals of supply and demand so that people know when something's in demand. But when we take a look back and we're looking at fundamentals, that's when I start saying all you're gonna do is get your rear end handed to you. As I said a few moments ago, in the last year, it's up 25,000%. And the amount of growth that it's experienced, there have been breathing periods, but there's not been consolidation. It's just been massive, massive, massive pumps. Looking at the volume, prior to this, you might get into the low hundreds as far as volume, a little bit below that. But since then, the volume has spiked recently, $40 billion of trading volume. That is a huge increase. Also, the people going into the space. Actually, I'm going to hold off a step. Looking at just Dogecoin itself. Dogecoin is not something that it has a place where it's the meme coin. That's its identity. The amount of developer involvement has been literally next to nothing for quite some time, where it was a meme coin, it was running fine, there was no need for the code to be updated, for improvements to be made, for it to be taken seriously. No one took it seriously. It was literally just a hobby coin from crypto's early days that has been sticking around. Well, now, if it were to get serious attention, for it to have serious attention, You need to start building on this. People need to start building applications on this. The code needs to be refined. People need to do things to improve it and update it and evolve it. Bitcoin has a lot of developer activity. Ethereum has a lot of developer activity. A lot of projects that Dogecoin, currently at $83 billion, has a lot more value than. It has more value than XRP, Cardano, Polkadot, Litecoin, Uniswap, Chainlink, Stellar Lumens, VeChain, Tron, EOS, Monero, it even Aave, Tezos, Maker, Polygon, and just all the other tokens. And all these projects have active development going on behind them. They have active programs and a narrative of rapid price rise. And getting into the reason that you need to avoid this, the secondary reason, this is a purely emotion-driven type of price movement. It's not driven by something where there's technical use, like there's an actual use case. There are platforms that are starting to trade Dogecoin because it's popular and they can make a buck, like Gemini. You can trade Dogecoin on Gemini, but that's because they're going to make a buck, so why not? One of the payment processors, either payment processors or just one of the vendors that currently accepts crypto payments, said, hey, we'll start taking Dogecoin. Why? Because it's popular, it has value, and they're jumping on the bandwagon. But the people getting into Dogecoin, they're not doing it because it's a solid project. They're doing it to make a quick buck. People are jumping in on this because it's the popular thing to do and they can make a quick buck. So all the reasons to get in are emotional. It's the greed element. And it's FOMO, fear of missing out. People are jumping in. Oh man, is it too late? Oh, the price retreated. Oh my God, the price jumped. I should get back in on this. And as soon as the sentiment turns, as soon as there's no more people willing to buy into it, or there just are no more people that are willing to buy into it, that's when the price is going to start receding, and then it's just going to cascade downward because there's no other buyers. You'll get that hard plunge. The people who have a bigger stake, the whales, the more seasoned traders, they're going to close out their positions. It's going to make a hard pullback. People are going to jump in. People are going to try and prop up the price. You'll get your dead cat bounce. And then the people that couldn't cash out at the first leg of the drop will cash out now that there's a price rise, which will lead to the rest of the precipitous fall. And then you're going to have a falling knife scenario where the price just keeps going down, and there'll be some resistance, there'll be some buying, but the sentiment's gone. It's no longer, we've gone over the top of the hill and it's all downhill. Then you're going to be people who are holding on and thinking, I'll just hodl. Oh, the price will recover. People who do not understand how prices move based on behavior and how these patterns repeat constantly. And this is right now a perfect setup for one of those falls, because everything's driven by emotion and hype. The price will go down and it'll settle into a sandpaper stage where it's probably going to have more propped up action because of the general market and general enthusiasm. But for Dogecoin itself, that's going to have its own unique characteristics of price movements, because you have all this movement just tumbling in there. So how long will it go? Will it consolidate? Will it go sideways? I don't know. But all I know is that based on the fundamentals of the price movement, there's no rush to get in. The price will pull back. It'll get cheaper. It happens all the time. So my recommendation is no. Until this energy of hype and FOMO buying and greed gets wiped out, cleansed out, and is replaced with more steady hands, I would definitely not recommend going into Doge. That said, Doge is a great community. If you want to get involved with it that way, by all means do so. I highly encourage people to get involved in projects and communities and such. It's a good way to get into crypto. It's a good way to learn the space. But if it's just a pocketbook motivation, oh, no. My first answer is you're going to have your rear end handed to you. So don't do it. Don't bother doing it. Just put in some Ethereum, put in some Bitcoin, put in any of the other projects that have big time resources behind them and have wheels to the road, so to speak, where they're actually doing things and not just appreciating in price. Well, that about wraps up the show for today. Just wanted to make a quick midweek show. You can tune in as always on TINYCRYPTOBLOG.com. Follow along the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public. You can also follow along at Tiny Crypto Blog on Facebook, Twitter, Brighteon, YouTube, and Odyssey/library. At some point in the future, I will be getting a dedicated account for Cost of Crypto, probably on Twitter. So until then, I'm going to wrap it up. Got any thoughts? Got any comments? Let me know. You can always drop me a line at hello@tinycryptoblog.com. If you have any suggestions for topics you'd like to hear me talk about, drop a line. I'm always open. So with that, I'll say be well, everyone. Talk to you soon.